Good evening. My name is John Ziegler. You're listening to the Free Speech Broadcasting Network. For each of the last Sundays over the last 2 years plus, we have talked about the news of the week, and we provided you with a 3-hour oasis of honesty and rationality in the desert of insanity and deceit, which is the American media, cultural, and political landscape. Once again, I am John Ziegler. This is the last live broadcast of this particular radio program.
No, it's not. It's costing money.
And because this is the last live broadcast, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I'll explain exactly why it's the last broadcast a little bit later on, but if you can't wait, go to our website, www.freespeechbroadcasting.com.
It's costing money.
And you can...
It's costing money. I'm not kidding.
I have a feeling that this is going to go down in history as one of the strangest radio shows in history, because the voice you're hearing there is my 4.5-year-old daughter, Grace, who clearly has her own opinions about why this is the last edition live broadcast of Free Speech Broadcasting.
It's not the last. I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding?
No, it's not the last time of the radio show because it's costing money.
Okay. All right, so we have clearly a very opinionated 4-year-old Grace Ziegler. And again, I urge you to go to freespeechbroadcasting.com if you're curious about a column that I wrote about why this is the last live broadcast. It should be a very interesting, as you can tell, and unique 3 hours. And the reason why we have Grace in studio, which I'm already wondering about, is not only the fact that this is the last broadcast, and Grace has been a guest in the past on this show, but also because today was a very big day for Grace, because obviously this week is Christmas, and Grace got to see Santa Claus today, and I want to ask her about that, as well as her quest to get on the good list as opposed to stay off the bad list, which I think she probably deserves to be on, especially after how she behaved at the beginning of this particular program. But before we do any of that, Grace, I want to go back to the last time you were on this show. Do you remember the last time you were on this show, Grace?
Yes.
Do you remember what we talked about?
Okay.
Go ahead. What did we talk about last time you were on the show?
Well, I talked about Hillary, but then Leah was there, but now she's not here anymore. And I want to make a good impression for her.
Okay, but when you were here last time, and we asked you about Donald Trump, here's what you said. You were curious about Donald Trump. This was back at your birthday, back in June, and you asked a question. Here was the question you asked. Do you remember asking that question, Grace? Do you remember?
No. Well, that's a little bit, guys.
Okay, what was the answer to that question now? You weren't sure if he was a good guy or a bad guy, Donald Trump. What's your answer now? Good guy or bad guy?
Well, I think he's a bad guy.
A bad guy. Why do you think Trump's a bad guy?
Because he hates Hillary, and he actually doesn't come for history to go with Santa Claus. So I think he's going to be in the bad list.
Okay, well, you don't like Hillary either. I mean, this is what you had to say about Hillary at the time. You were very upset at Hillary because you thought she was going to steal all your stuff. Remember that? So you don't like Hillary either, do you? Do you?
No, I don't.
As a matter of fact, you got very upset a little while ago about both Trump and Hillary. Do you remember this?
That was on my mama's birthday.
Right. So you're not a fan of either Trump or Hillary, but Trump's going to be our president now, and that's part of the reason why this is going to be the last live broadcast of this particular show, which I'll explain as we go on.
It's costing money.
Okay, I think we got that. All right. You know what, Grace? Maybe if I'd had you on as a guest more often, we'd continue with this program longer than just tonight.
I know it's costing money. I mean money, and my mom told me so. And she is very a genius, and she's actually my mom. So can you not take her away because I I really love her.
Okay, no one's going to take your mommy away. All right, the show has been already hijacked. So let's go to what happened today. So, as I've mentioned on this program before, Grace, I wasn't sure whether you're headed for the good list or the bad list for Santa this year. And so you met Santa today, and what happened?
Well, it's kind of a long story, so I will have to chase. So I was eating my breakfast like I always do, but Mom said I shouldn't because I.
You're telling the long version of this story, Grace. Now let's play. I'm going to play a clip for you from your visit with Santa today because I told Santa that I'm not sure you belong on the good list because you frankly have not behaved very well this year, especially recently.
I didn't hear you.
And here's what Santa had to say, and here's what you promised Santa. This was earlier today. Now that was a very interesting move on your part, Grace. You told Santa that you would try your best. You didn't promise that you would be good. You said you would try your best, and then you said to him, "Okay," as if you were negotiating a deal. Like, okay, are we good with that deal, Santa? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think so. It's the ratio is compliment.
It's what?
It's compliment.
Compliment. I'm not sure what that means.
Complicated.
Complicated? Is
Yes.
it complicated?
Yes, it's complicated.
Okay,
Since
look.
the ratio is all covered with.
It's all very complicated, obviously.
Yes.
But Grace, here's the deal. Did you make an actual promise to Santa Claus or not to be good for this last week of Christmas? Did you make that promise?
Well, it's kind of a very long story.
Another long story? Well, why don't you just tell the answer? Did you make a promise or not? Yes or no?
I did.
Okay, well, we're going to hold you. Mommy and Daddy are going to hold you to that promise. And we'll see whether that works out and whether you get on the good list. Now,
Let go, let go.
all right. By the way, have you ever thought about becoming a talk show host? I know you have a lot of career goals. There's a lot of things you want to be when you grow up.
Excuse me, everybody. I got a tattoo, and it's an angel. It's with green, purple, and pink.
Yes, you got a tattoo from Santa Claus today that's very pretty. But Grace, you have a lot of things that you want to be when you grow up. I think you want to be a doctor, right?
Yeah, and a princess.
And a princess, and an astronaut, and a soldier, and a superhero, and a couple of... You don't want to be a talk show host, do you?
Okay. Can I press one of the buttons?
No, you can't touch one of the buttons. Okay. All right, let me just give you one piece of advice, Grace, because you might be listening to this years later. If you're still thinking about becoming a talk show host, don't, okay? Just make sure that little piece of advice gets heeded.
Press the X.
What do you want me to do?
Press the X.
Press the X?
Yeah.
Actually, this was your favorite button, I think. Remember this one?
Yeah.
What's that from?
Sleeping Beauty.
Who is that? Who says that? Maleficent.
Yeah.
All right. Grace, good job. So do you think you're going to be on the good list or the bad list for Santa?
Good list.
All right, well, we'll see. It'll be very interesting to find out. And Grace, thanks so much for coming on the show. Say Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
All right, that's...
Oh, ho, ho.
We have started our last broadcast on the Free Speech Broadcasting
No,
Network
let's go save money.
with by far the most memorable segment in the history of the program. We'll be back in just a moment.